Hello everyone, my name is Vishwanath Iyer and I have given my BSc IT and done my MCA. I am a current student at MIL Academy and my topic of discussion would be how a SQL vulnerability scanner works. Let's now move on to the presentation. These are the points which will be covered: introduction to SQL injections, testing techniques, SQL vulnerability scanner and how it works, and SQL injection prevention. Now first let us see what exactly we mean by SQL injection. SQL injection is a code injection technique which takes advantage of the vulnerability in the database layer of an application or a program. It includes injecting arbitrary commands in the program to gain unauthorized access to the system. But why does an SQL injection happen? It happens when the user input is not correctly filtered for string literal escape characters in SQL statements, and when the user input is not strongly typed. This is a graphical demonstration of how an SQL injection happens. The SQL commands are inserted into the source code via the program or the interface, and the arbitrary commands which are inserted travels to the database and are appended to the query in the database. It executes, and using this the attacker can gain an unauthorized access into the system. This takes advantage of the operator precedence in the SQL language, like in here or A equal to A, that is the condition A equal to A will always be true. So hence you give any condition, it would be satisfied. Now we see the testing techniques for SQL injection. Techniques can be white box as well as black box. White box testing is done when you have access to the source code of the program, and it can be done through code analysis and source code review. Black box testing can be done when you don't have access to the source code. It can be done in two ways, that is automated or manual. Black box testing can be functional or end-to-end. Now we look at what is an SQL vulnerability scanner and how it works. SQL vulnerability scanner is an automated tool which scans for the presence of exploitable SQL injection in the given URL, and it uses a black box approach of testing. Now let's see how SQL vulnerability scanner works. It involves three stages: grab, exploit and analyze. In the grab phase, we create an HTTP request to the URL which we want to test, and the server post it to the URL. Then the server responds with the HTML of the page in the URL, and the HTML is then parsed and extracted. Now in the exploit phase, the HTML is parsed for any input tags inside a form. That we do it because the input fields inside a form are the fields which are sent to the server when a request is created. So and next step would be an HTTP request with parameters corresponding to the input tags are created, and it is assigned a payload. Payload can be an arbitrary SQL commands which the attacker wants to give. It can be as simple as a single code to test the vulnerability. The request is then sent to the vulnerable URL for testing. And in the analyze phase, the server response is then analyzed for specific error keywords like SQL exception, incorrect syntax near some word. And also by default, some remote servers give 500 internal server error when they encounter an SQL exception. Now we look at some of the techniques which are used to prevent SQL injection. The user should always check the input for single code. If the program requires that a single code needs to be inputted, it can escape the single code, and it is recommended to use strongly typed variables while programming and use of parameterized queries and stored procedures. And now I would like to conclude my presentation with a warning that these tools, may it be SQL vulnerability scanner or any tools, please use it only for educational purposes, and use of tools without prior permission can lead to legal prosecution. Thank you.